when you change 33% of your roster, it's bound to look a little different.
We'll see exactly how different as we are underway. Best of 5 between North Texas and LSU. Not for nothing, I don't believe this is the only time we're going to see these two teams face off this season. Here's T-Bait.
No, you won't, but you hope you connect that pass next time.
Right. This will be Braun B. Ready to show what he can do. Doesn't have any teammates downfield, so D-Bank will take over. Back on the other half. North Texas looking for their first quality opportunity. Lucia waiting, and Braun B is whiffed on that ball, but T-Bates will take over instead. T-Bates might have even called him off there to kind of throw off the North Texas defense. And watching these two do battle over the past couple of years, Jorby, it's been such a treat. And it would only be fitting if this one kind of delivers on some of the classics we've had in the past. D-Bank almost converting that difficult angle, only kept out by the post. Very similar to UT Dallas a moment ago.
Now, D-Bank certainly looked like he's in top form. Before that attempted shot, he had a couple of key midfield challenges that kept his push alive. UNT have had possession stacks for the entire minute plus now. LSU have yet to generate a shot on net. There's only 2 for UNT, but still, like, it's been in the orange half for a while here. LSU are really struggling to hang on to boost. They finally get a clear. Let's see if they can get it with any consistency.
Lucia trying to hit D-Bank, but T-Bates is all over it. Not too fast, gonna have to scramble to get to this ball. He does, just ahead of Low-Tech. And now a chance for the mean green. D-Bank denied by T-Bates. Now back the other way. Braun B, 2-on-1, and the one wins out as Lucia makes the save.
But you do like that from LSU. T-Bates was in a really tough 2-on-1 situation. The shot was not good enough for him to miss. He was able to pick up that save, but more importantly, immediately turn it into a counterattack. The more this game is going on, game 1 might be decided by a counterattack or by the relentless pressure from UNT. Either way, LSU hanging on by a thread, and no shot comes. A couple of whiffs from Too Fast now on UNT.
This ball pinballs around a little bit. Fake challenge from Lucia that T-Bates doesn't lose out on. Continues to press the issue, but now Lucia looking for D-Bank. Low-Tech intercepts, but that also throws Braun B out of the play. And now a chance for North Texas. Numbers downfield, and T-Bates stuffs out the attack yet again.
And D-Bank had played damage control, bought Lucia plenty of time to get the next save. I mean, this is still very clearly North Texas's ball right now. Even the challenges aren't going LSU's way. They're really just trying to manage their positioning because North Texas are all over them and about 2 steps ahead. So you see LSU trying to stay back and defend, but they keep bumping into each other, and the shots just never stop coming, and finally Lucia hits paint. First goal to UNT.
And he was still just kind of lurking around downfield, and something that Low-Tech had to be aware of. He lost sight of him for just a moment, and that little hesitation cost him as D-Bank was able to put it right onto Lucia, and 1-0 go the North Texas Mean Green.
And LSU, they definitely, like, the 1-goal lead feels like a 2-goal lead simply because there's only been 3 scattered shots from LSU, and we've spent out of the 3 minutes 30 seconds played, 3 minutes of it have been spent in LSU territory, and they're still playing acrobatic defense.
And they're still only down 1, which means they're just 1 breakaway, 1 bump, 1 strike away from tying things up. Low-Tech. Oh, that's a clever touch by Lucia to get around him, and D-Bank plays by T-Bates. So it's Braun B, the sub, who has to try and start the counterattack again downfield, and, well, this will be carried to the corner by Too Fast. A little risky play, but he manages to get by Low-Tech. Braun B has to go over top, but just can't get past Lucia. And again, North Texas continue to slow down LSU. Now they'll try again. T-Bates lobbing one up there. Low-Tech thought about it. He's backed off, but now he can come on, and the ball doesn't fall to him.
Ooh. And Braun B could only buy a little bit of time for Low-Tech, who's getting harassed by Too Fast. Might give another opening to North Texas, but another good challenge will send it away for now. But, Stacks, it's been the same tune for this entire 5 minutes. North Texas, when the clear happens, it happens like this, where North Texas get to race back and get first dibs on the ball. And now LSU actually have a chance in front with Low Tech, but he got bumped.
Ayers being chased the whole way. Brøndby got this over one, but Lucia there to the rescue. 10 seconds as the final countdown goes in game one. T-Bates coming on, and he scores with 6 seconds left.
I didn't think T-Bates was going to get this in. There were 2 defenders in net, but it's a beautiful pass from Low Tech, making it awkward for D-Bank. He was too far off the ball to do anything about it. Too Fast was still turning back around. They caught them in the middle of the rotation, everyone in net, and they got burned for it. That's a massive goal. Late in the game, and on the kickoff, they might come with another.
If Low Tech was a little more decisive, he may have scored that, as T-Bates has to make sure as he farms one last save. And we go to OT. LSU just had a chance to score twice in the final 6 seconds and steal this game. They still might. He does. It's T-Bate who comes to the rescue again.
T-Bates with 2 massive goals in game one. It's Lucia that's on the defense, and he pulled up as soon as that bounce happened. He never even saw T-Bates until it was too late, and he turns back watching the ball go into his net. No good. LSU. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
they dominated the pitch stat.
Right.
Like, from the first 3 minutes of the game were solely the mean green.
Yep.
I don't think the ball went by midfield for an entire half. One quick counterattack, and then one quick advantage on the kickoff is all LSU needed. Amazing.
Play defense well enough, you keep yourself in the game and give yourself a shot. I didn't give T-Bates even a puncher's chance to get to the shot that he put in to tie the game, but LSU came up with 2 great kickoffs. One right after that goal, and one at the start of overtime that gave them the upper hand as the game came to its conclusion. And it is T-Bates that scores twice to literally snatch victory from the jaws of defeat for the LSU Tigers. And now for North Texas, they take their first game loss of the season, and they have to recover now. They're going to be reeling after just kind of being stunned by that opening game. Brøndby putting the pressure on again as LSU has yet another strong kickoff.
Well, Stacks, it's the comfortability of Brøndby is palpable.
Yep.
He is feeling really comfortable in this rotation. I don't think LSU, despite the amount of defense they had to play, it doesn't really feel like they're missing Donnie all that much, especially when you have Brøndby making or attempting passes like that in front of the backboard. LSU ever dangerous whenever they get on offense, and I think UNT know that every bit. They're going to try to play this press offense as hard as they can, and sometimes you're going to get burned playing like that, and T-Bates gets a freebie the other way.
3 unanswered goals from T-Bates, spanning about a minute plus of gameplay, as this one rolls in on an open net, and North Texas had just got to be wondering, where did it all go wrong? Right now, they got 4 minutes plus to figure it out here in game 2.
Well, T-Bates, I just remember in seasons past for T-Bates, a lot of the time when he was responsible for a shot, he'd hit the post or the crossbar, or it just wouldn't be quite on target. Here comes another shot to the top corner. D-Bank picks up the rebound. North Texas respond quickly here, Stacks, and a nice little pass from Lucia.
Yeah, and it's very easy to try and go towards the left or towards the middle. You wouldn't get a lot of power on it, though. D-Bank realized, hey, if I want any power, I've got to challenge a defender just in case he comes out through the ceiling. Did put it exactly there, and it works out. North Texas right back into this as D-Bank tries to score off the kickoff, give LSU a dose of their own medicine. That kickoff pressure, here's Too Fast now. Looking for Lucia, who turns around and had to deal with Low Tech trying to run interference, but Low Tech didn't get him, and that's the result.
High goal in front, so it's having Low Tech. He was looking for the bump on Lucia, and he actually pulls off. So Low Tech was chasing him down. He had no boost, but I think if Low Tech actually stuck with his game plan there and went for the bump, he actually would have got him, because Lucia had to double back to get to the ball. But Low Tech was like, oh crap, I'm the last guy back. I need to get set for this shot, but then the ball's in your net. So I actually think Low Tech, he had the right idea, and it was his positioning was actually fortunate, and then he made the wrong choice.
Look, all I'm going to say is if you come at the king, you'd best not miss. Low Tech did. Here's D-Bank looking to further punish LSU. Flip, reset, and it's saved away by T-Bates. Follow-up is stopped by Low-Tech as well. And T-Bates will score on the counterattack, the very definition of a 2-goal swing.
Well, fortune favors the bold. T-Bates just runs downfield off this clear and completely beat Too Fast to the ball. Like, that was just one of those moments, Stacks, of fortunate challenge on the back wall that just kicks straight out to midfield. And all T-Bates has to do is recognize that the ball's going to shoot forward. He doesn't know how fast it's going to go forward. He just knows he has to get downfield as fast as possible. And he was granted the goal in 2 from Low-Tech. Beautiful double tap. 3 goals for LSU.
Finally, somebody else from LSU manages to find the net, and it's Low-Tech. Double tap, bang, bang.
Wow. Well, LSU, the Tiger has awakened, and the offensive claws are out, digging in to the blue net. Really like what I'm seeing from LSU so far. North Texas, after that, initial stint and a couple of returned goals, I can't help but feel like LSU are starting to take control of this game despite the North Texas pressure.
This is kept in the zone. Lucia was waiting for that challenge. Too fast, quick turn. They got the demolition on Low-Tech. Net is going to be open for a moment, but they just could not get the ball in front in time for Lucia to take a shot. Lucia keeps this deep in the corner as D-Bank will try to set up for Too Fast. Also has Lucia across, but it's Too Fast who tries and is denied by T-Bates. That unfortunate touch from Lucia. Well, T-Bates spun himself out. Did get a couple of boost canisters. Actually, I think he's going to get a trifecta on his way around, and his shot is going to ring high and wide, but still keep this alive in the zone, and UNT could be starved out. Here's T-Bait. Well, he stole another boost canister, but that's a huge clear by D-Bank. The shot is just high from Too Fast. Boy, how about the effort, though, of T-Bait starving out North Texas? Even more impressive, though, that North Texas got downfield the way they did.
T-Bates was exactly the guy I wanted to talk about, too, with how he's playing right now. You subtract one spin out, and T-Bates is playing like a monster today. The offense is easy to point to because he's scoring the goals, but it's more so the defense, and more shots are coming from T-Bates. But his defense has been incredible, Stacks. He has been the last man back several times for LSU, and had he not been consistent and clean, LSU would not be putting on the stomp that they are in Game 2.
And this is just another boost steal. You see Low-Tech steal one right at the start of that replay. Too Fast is just scrounging boost pads anywhere he can and could not get in position because of it. And that's what the boost starve does. It forces teams to go out of their way to get out of position, and it works out beautifully. Textbook for LSU. And T-Bates is going to score here as well as he just twinkle toes around the defense.
The old dish. Got to catch, teammate bump shoot. That's just for more power. Oh, the timing, the boost control, everything about that situation where T-Bates, he has to recover and make sure he has enough boost to get back to the touch and make sure he has enough boost to get around the ball, make sure he keeps the ball close enough to him because there's a defender in net, and if he hits it a little too far over, he's not actually going to be able to take a shot on net and get the dish. He kept it close. He used just as much boost as he needed. That was excellent work from T-Bates.
Too Fast is barely going to be able to catch up with this ball. He goes out of his way for boost, and T-Bates punishes him again.
Oh, it's his 5th goal in Game 2.
Good
He's reading a book. He's reading this book like it's the easiest thing he's read in his life. As if, he just got transported back to kindergarten with all the knowledge that he's attained. And they're like, hey, read this. And he's like, all right, done, easy. 5 goals. Next book.
Chef special here. 5 goals in this game. Are you kidding me? Almost 1,000 game score. Why not? Just feed him more. T-Bates has to play this in the corner. The only question is, can he get the double hat trick? That's all I'm here for at this point.
It's rare. It's just rare to see T-Bates play this good, Stacks. Especially against North Texas. We talk about T-Bates' defense. Usually D-Bank is the guy we're talking about on, sure, both ends of the pitch, but D-Bank has made some incredible defensive stops in his time on North Texas. But T-Bates is on another level in Game 2. He's on a completely different level.
Yet again, another team seeing the entire desk go against them, the entire crew saying, nah, North Texas, they're clearly the kings here tonight. And LSU is about to topple the throne. 6-2 in game 2. If it were a fight, they would have stopped it 3 minutes ago.
I mean, look, man, like, Stacks, let's fire up the grill.
Yeah?
Like, Chef Bates is here to serve, man. 5 of 7.
That's insane.
I can't get over that game 2 performance. Like, you just don't see that, even at this level. Like, the amount of games that we've streamed on this channel for Collegiate Rocket League, how many times have we watched a single player not named Tristan dominate the pitch like they have? Like, T-Bates is a player that you think should be able to do that, but most of the time, he ends up falling a little short of where those expectations are, and maybe a little bit of where his own expectations are. But, like, that right there is exactly why LSU are so deadly. Because when T-Bates is feeling good, and he's feeling confident, and he is shooting well, like, there is not a team in the West, not even Arizona, that can beat LSU when T-Bates is playing that well.
All right, well, Fire heard that. I'm sure he disliked it, and I'm sure he will remind you every time we have him on the rest of the season. With that said, you might not be wrong. The way LSU is playing right now, wow. All right, North Texas.
And I don't want to take anything away from... I don't want to take anything away from Braun B or Low Tech. They've certainly played their part, but... Look, man, it's hard to stand out against an almost 1,000 score performance.
Right. Hey, that is as good a just give me the ball and get out of my way performance as we've seen in a long time at any level, not just CRL. Too fast for Lucia, indirect pass, and the shot is blocked by Braun B.
Braun B ends up flipping into that to catch up with the momentum of the attacking player, and just side flips a little bit, and that actually helped keep the ball out to the corner. So that was just really good defense by Braun B, looking like T-Bates in game 2.
Lucia, try to get this ball centered. Does not. Now D-back. Oh, what a pass to Too Fast. And finally, North Texas are back in front in a game.
This is something North Texas have been struggling to do even when they have had control of these infield passing plays. The very first infield passing play they attempted, they ended up whiffing on their own. But since then, it's been difficult to find any space in the orange half, despite the control. And I think that's just credit to the Tigers' defense to keep the Mean Green searching for ways out and ways back in. The most UNT have been able to crack is 2 goals, and that was after LSU had already forced them to respond.
D-bank to oh, he got a second touch, and that kind of threw off Too Fast a little bit. So now Low Tech
threw me off.
Threw all of us off. Nobody expected that. Too Fast. Denied by Braun B. T-Bates is lurking at the back and started to come up. He's going to be needed after the demolition on Braun. T-Bates brought this around, trying to dish it in himself. He had Low Tech out in front. And maybe that strong performance in the end of game 1 and all of game 2, getting to T-Bates just a little bit. He does take D-back out of the play. It's Too Fast.
Ooh.
Blocked by T-Bates there. Seeing T-Bates back on the defensive end where North Texas would much rather see him the way he's playing in this series.
Now, LSU are now just forced into a dump and chase scenario on defense. Braun B, he wins that challenge, but it doesn't matter. When you're forced in this kind of position, that's exactly where North Texas want them. Now you can start to starve them on boost. D-Bank has been hunting for demos a little bit more. But why is this just bouncing for Low Tech? Oh, that's one you can't give up to the Tigers, because now they're able to get set, get more boost, and UNT are on defense.
D-Bank up the ladder to set up Too Fast. His shot's going to require a save, but that's a pretty good rebound for North Texas if anybody can get to it. But Lucia and D-Bank ran into each other. Then D-Bank's made a mess of this ball. Braun B can get downfield, and LSU, all they've been doing at times is waiting for a North Texas mistake, and they certainly can punish. They have a chance to do so here, but they let him off the hook. Too Fast and D-Bank downfield. Too Fast got the double!
Oh! So, look, this double's nice, Stacks, but I'm going to pull an Achieves. This started the whole way back when D-Bank was challenging the ball in his own third. Instead of going up and challenging directly, he pulls off the play, lets the ball roll into the corner, collects a full tank of boost, gets that wonderful carry downfield that was just followed up perfectly by Too Fast. But that doesn't happen if D-Bank doesn't have the presence of mind to pull off on that earlier challenge.
D-Bank looking to set up Too Fast again, but a little late getting there, and he has been a couple of times. He's very aggressive after this, though. Got the pass all the way across. Nobody there as he just intercepted that ball in midfield. Slows things down, allowing D-Bank to take over. Lucia there as well, but got us blocked away. Too Fast will take over. Deep in the corner. Got Lucia waiting behind him. He'll have to come up. He had Braun B trying to run interference. Now D-Bank. Oh, clever pass across. And I think Too Fast realized it just a touch too late.
Oh, well, this is what happens when you can starve LSU. When everyone's got zero boost, they finally pick up a tank. Actually, UNT couldn't manage their boost well enough to keep the ball locked in midfield, so now they got to battle for it again. But that was a great time waster for the Mean Green, for sure.
Well, still only, I say only, a 2-goal game, because we've seen LSU, they can strike from out of nowhere, especially if T-Bates gets loose like he is here!
T-Bates again, but this time his team is a little more involved on this play. Braun B, a nice dump out to T-Bates in traffic. But man, the presence, the consistency, the power. 119 kilometers per hour for T-Bates on the nose in traffic. You said it earlier, Stacks. Just feed T-Bates the ball. He's not missing today.
To quote a very notable North Texas alum, objects in rearview mirror may be closer than they appear. Meatloaf's words ringing true here as LSU are charging back again. T-Bates has a full tank of boost, trying to spring his team downfield, but he's come up empty. He will still be downfield so they can get it clear. That goes off the backboard, but Too Fast is there, perhaps to put the nail in the coffin in Game 3.
Great job by the Mean Green, taking advantage of Braun B in the net. Can't figure out where to go. He knew he had a teammate up there to challenge on the backboard, which is exactly where that challenge needed to happen. But the backboard has been the Tigers' worst enemy on defense. That is, all three of North Texas's goals were scored off of a backboard rebound. One being a double tap, and the other two, what you saw. But the Mean Green, they're not going to let this end in a sweep. Low Tech trying to score with some time left. T-Bates squared up in front, but Stacks, it looks like we are going to get the bout we thought we were getting.
The game is afoot, and I am absolutely happy to see it. North Texas staves off a 3-0 sweep bid from the LSU Tigers. And, okay, Too Fast 7 shots weren't nearly as good as T-Bates' 7 shots from the last game, but they will take it. He needed to step up and did so to kind of, well, with the help of D-Bank, carry UNT into a 4th game.
And, you know, North Texas were finding some cheeky angles on the net. Like the one that D-Bank didn't score on from the corner, it's like, that was just the fortune of him flipping into it. I don't really think he was intending a double there. But, like, those are the types of touches that kept happening for North Texas in Game 3. I still think that they're in trouble against LSU in the next 5 minutes. I think Lucia has to find a better rhythm in this rotation, because I think that is a weak point that LSU can point to and really start to pick on. Lucia isn't as confident in their reads right now, especially just a little flat-footed, I guess. When I say flat-footed, I usually mean they're not making quick reads, and that's what's happening with Lucia. So if they start to ramp it up and North Texas can take Game 4, I think Lucia is going to have to get more involved in the rotation.
Lucia does have a full canister, and he may need it to spring the attack downfield. He'll slow things down a little bit. And T-Bates, I like what T-Bates did there. I mean, go right after him. You know, you saw the numbers on the scoreboard. Make him work. Low Tech goes right by Too Fast here. I'm surprised he made this look as easy as he did.
What even happened? Oh, it goes right over Lucia, and I still think Too Fast could have made that save. He just flipped a little early, and he couldn't gain any real momentum with that flip. So he ended up just missing the ball. I mean, that was an awkward miss for Too Fast. Like you said, Stacks, like, he makes those usually. He hits those saves most of the time. That's one I think he should have definitely gotten.
D-Bank trying to get a little clever here. Now his touch is blocked away by T-Bates, who gets a little check from Too Fast. Now Lucia coming on. He will try to force the issue against T-Bates, the veteran. This ball's popped up, and T-Bates and D-Bank are both up for it. Low Tech should have this. He does. Braun B patiently waiting, but Too Fast makes sure there's no rebound, and then gets Braun B to stop him from following up the play.
Now, that's been the big difference maker when you look at the two new players on each side of the pitch. Braun B has been a little faster in the rotation, and he's helped LSU on both sides of the pitch. And that's really helped LSU stay within, or in this case in Game 4, stay ahead.
Boy, two fortunate respawns right there for North Texas. Very close to the ball and in a position to stave off the attack. There were a couple demolitions. LSU absolutely should have scored. T-Bates jumped early and Too Fast scores.
You said it. T-Bates jumped way too early, and North Texas find it off the backboard again. Granted, that was a little awkward, and T-Bates, he was on the ramp a little bit. You know, typically with those high balls, you'll see players use the ramp as a launch point to get a straight fast angle onto the ball for a quick clear. But he ended up mistiming his jump and kind of got the old two sticky wheels onto the pole and fell off of it. So when he flipped, he had no momentum upwards, and that was pretty much disaster after that. So if I'm North Texas, keep peppering this backboard. It's working.
T-Bates trying to get there ahead of Too Fast, but he was indeed too fast. Playing this dangerously close to his own net, but Lucia up to the task. Lucia does get rid of the ball from Low Tech, but North Texas still in a bind. Braun B is there to give LSU the lead.
North Texas, everybody's sitting and waiting to see what LSU is going to do with the ball. Attempted clear Too Fast is too slow to the ball, and everybody else is left giant question marks over their vehicles as to how they got scored on again. LSU take advantage off of another great kickoff.
Half of a game remains, and it feels like we've had enough twists and turns for a whole series. Low Tech. Lucia now. D-Bank can hit Lucia and does so. LSU strong at the back as Braun B pinches this all the way to the center line. T-Bates lobbing one up there. Nobody else in support, but Low Tech can keep this alive. Braun B will finally come up. He's not taking that midfield boost in case a teammate needs it. But it looks like it will belong to North Texas, more specifically D-Bank, and he's going to need some of it to deal with T-Bates. Too Fast as well, who's made it awkward along the goal line, but does make the save.
Now, LSU, they've tried to put together a couple of passing plays, and you know, sometimes you can be critical of a team for not trying to go to the pass often enough, but you also have to look at what the defense is giving them. And North Texas have made life difficult for LSU when they've been on offense. So then you're going to start to see T-Bates taking matters into his own hands again and just start taking pot shots at the net, despite it being a little more defended than he hopes for. He was sneaking for that top shelf a couple of times. Here comes UNT, but D-Bank is going to his ball knocked away.
Lucia's got to get this ball down in center, and he could not. Too Fast, couldn't read it off the wall. T-Bates looking for the killing blow, and he scores to make it 3-1.
T-Bates is here to serve. What's he cooking up? A nice flick. D-Bank, no chance. No chance. That's the worst spot to be in if you're D-Bank. Every player, and if you play Rocket League long enough, you will be put in that spot where you're just a little farther back than you wish you were, and the opponent flicks the ball right over your head and you just miss it. That's the position D-Bank was in against T-Bates there. And, oh, North Texas, can they pick up a goal? They need it. This is crunch time.
Final minute. They need to play like LSU and be able to get that quick, sudden strike. Lucia, good challenge against T-Bates. It hasn't happened often tonight. He's won a lot of them. Too Fast should have this ball, and he does get over to D-Bank. Too Fast. Oh, D-Bank took it himself and scores!
Oh, D-Bank. So he has to use everything in the tank on this, but on defense, let's look at Braun B. He's expecting that shot. Well, okay. I looked at Bromby's cam, and I decided that it didn't matter where that ball was put, it was going to be scored. He just rotated a little too far into net. But if he turns on the line, because from D-Bank's angle, Stacks, it looked like D-Bank was going to go for the top corner. And from his angle, it looked like that's what Bromby was trying to defend. So I was thinking, D-Bank, he put that right in the middle, and Bromby wasn't expecting that. But no, Bromby just turned too far outside of the net, and UNT are in striking distance.
Low-Tech got spun out. Lucia's shot is in! He scores his third goal of the series. He had been so quiet, but it's Lucia, of all people, that scores here to tie the game.
And Too Fast cleared the lane for him. Just a little chip onto Low-Tech sent him off the ground. No chance to challenge Lucia on the play. And there was one lane Lucia had to hit. He nailed it. It's tied up. Holy crap.
This is unbelievable. Talked at the start of the series, wondering if this would be a classic. They have delivered so far. It looks like we're headed to overtime, but hold the phone. Too Fast. Can he get under this? He does, to stay alive. Lucia, look at his center. This will go all the way across. And how greedy is LSU feeling? Not. They'll take their chances on the kickoff, which has been very good in this series.
It has. It might even be good. No, it's not going to be good for them. They're going to have to defend. Yeah.
Envy.
You go, Stacks.
Yeah, right.
It's OT.
Yeah, Envy, North Texas is not, even though they are fairly close. It's D-Bank. Oh, that gets by Low-Tech. That's going to leave Bromby in a real awkward spot. D-Bates will come back to support him. That's the guy you want to have on the defensive end. But now Lucia will score as nobody could get back in time, and North Texas steals the game.
Lucia, with his struggles in this series, comes up big time twice. Gets in T-Bates' face, wins the ball, and puts a perfect shot on net. And North Texas literally survived the Tigers. Literally survived them to get to Game 5. What? One bump and one little chip in the corner is all it takes, Stacks. We watched it happen at the very beginning of the match, and it happened again.
That's unreal. Too Fast says he's having a mouse issue, so we may take a moment here before getting into Game 5 on Champions Field. Somehow, after T-Bates' ninth goal of the series, I thought, this is it. This is over.
Yeah. I mean, after such an individual performance, most times you see teams crumble in Game 3 after that. It's all right. It's the Tigers. GG. Maybe UNT can get them in the future. But, North Texas, not oft mentioned, are one of the most resilient teams in CRL, Stacks. We've watched this team go through battles, and they are certainly an embattled team. They rarely sweep the opposition, and it's usually a tooth and nail fight for North Texas. So am I surprised to watch them scratch and claw and scrap their way to a Game 5? No. And have Lucia be the person to put two massive goals in net for them, granted, with some help from his team, but you still have to be that guy. You still have to put that shot on target. And from where we saw Lucia in the first two games of the set, Lucia was just managing to keep up with the rotation. And that time it looked a lot more comfortable for Lucia, for sure.
You look at the 3 goals that North Texas scored in a row to tie and then win Game 4, to tie up this series. He had the D-Bank double tap where, he had been a passing machine all series long. He had 5 assists. He has 5 assists. And if you're Bromby in the net, you got to be thinking, that's clearly going to be backboard out to Too Fast. I've got time. I could go deep into the net and come out. No, D-Bank just scores the best goal of his life. And he wastes it in week 2 of league play. Sure, whatever, it works. It gets them back in the game. Then Lucia, who, when his teammates combined for over 1,000 game score, he's sitting there on double digits just going, I'm here, I helped, and now he plays hero with 2 huge goals. That's got to be tremendous for his confidence going into Game 5. I know they're going to be iced a little bit as Too Fast tries to sort out his mouse problem, but man, I don't think this could have worked out any better for North Texas, giving a guy like Lucia the confidence he needs going into this final game.
And I actually think Too Fast having his input issues right now is actually really beneficial to LSU.
Yes.
Because they've had a tendency to tilt in the past, and it's cost them matches, especially in the playoffs. And the playoffs is where it's always been the worst for LSU. But even in regular season matches, the tilt factor has always been a major point about LSU that has never really gone away. So I actually think this pause here helps LSU settle down. Game 5 is coming. It's like, yes, the season hasn't been perfect yet, but all we got to do is walk away with one more dub. It's 0-0-5 minutes. Every other game to this point, you can put in the back of your mind, it doesn't matter. It's just another game of Rocket League. Win this next one right here. That's what LSU have to be telling themselves, and it's a little easier to calm down your mental state when you do get a little more than a 30-second break.
Elsewhere in the off-stream matches so far tonight, it's been a pretty good day for the Florida schools. Florida Poly 3-1 over Sioux College. Central Florida beats South Florida Green. And USF Gold with a 3-0 sweep over Penn State. And the results just keep on coming in. Looks like Akron took down Platteville. And plenty more results on the night. Oregon does beat Missouri S&T after Missouri's stellar performance. Looks like we are ready to go. Too Fast has this ready to go. We do not need any kind of a timer. We are underway in our 5th and final game of a series that should not have gone this long, but it has, as North Texas has come storming back against the almighty Tigers. Opening shot is saved away by Lucia. How many near misses will we have? How many mistakes will be amplified here in this final game?
And how many backboard reads are going to be missed? I feel like the backboard on both ends. I think I picked on UNT. Hang on, here's Lucy again. Oh! The ground dribbling wizard puts another one in.
That is incredible. He has come alive in this series in the second half. Now has 5 goals. I think that leads all scorers on his side. The only reason he's not the leading scorer on both teams because T-Bates has 9. That'll be tough to catch. But who knows? He scored early enough. He'll have to turn around here and try to stop T-Bates. That does drop down towards Braun B, but Too Fast brings it to the corner. So we wondered, who would benefit, if anybody, from that little delay in between games. North Texas doesn't seem phased. Oh, what a save by Braun B.
Ooh, yeah, they don't seem phased one bit. In fact, Lucy is happy to get a couple more seconds of a break because, man, to sandwich that goal in between T-Bates and now Too Fast carrying the ball. He's out of boost, but here come North Texas again, Stacks.
Oh, D-Bank plays that right over T-Bates. And T-Bates just very slow getting out of the zone. LSU, slow in general. It's almost like they're a little lost on the defensive end as Braun B just throws that at the back or at the side wall. But they don't move forward. It's like they're stuck in the mud, just spinning their tires. That demolition by Low-Tech doesn't help. And they go right back to the back wall. Too Fast taken out of the play, but Lucia is back, though he has to backflip for this. And now T-Bates looking to set up Low-Tech, and Too Fast blows it up.
That was well done by Too Fast. He had that passing lane cut up way before it ever came to pass, and T-Bates got chipped on top of it. So the North Texas defense, stalwart in the first 2 minutes, but LSU are still hunting, Stacks and really pushing forward. That's a wide open ball in midfield.
Lucia was forced into his own net, but still managed to almost get an assist. And now a shot, and he scores! He goes from deep into his own goal, avoiding a demo, to almost getting an assist, to then giving UNT a 2-0 lead.
Poor T-Bates, stuck in net with no boost. He gets probably one of the best touches you can get in that situation. He has to wait for it to fall to him, and then he can't get a powerful touch onto it. And then Lucia puts it near side to him again, and oh! You know how Lucia's feeling real confident is when you just pre-jump. You're like, oh yeah, Too Fast. He's going to get that pass out. I'm scoring everything right now. He's feeling.
Maybe a little ambitious here, but that demolition opens things up. Oh, what a save by T-Bates off the respawn. Not out of the woods by any means. Still 2.5 minutes left I mean, we were starting to kind of write North Texas's eulogy around this point in Game 4, as it looked like LSU was going to close things out, and they scored with a little over a minute left. Now LSU has to come back from the dead. D-Bank over one, and Lucia will just try to play the possession game along with Too Fast, but that is not going to work out. They've got to get this ball back on the LSU side. Oh, the pass just ahead of T-Bates.
Well, T-Bates is starting to try to play a little faster and faster, and I think he's picking a lane and hopping it a little too fast. And T-Bates, he's got to slow down a little bit. He is the linchpin of LSU. If he's off the mark, the rest of LSU are going to follow suit with T-Bates. They go as he goes, and so he's just got to settle down a little bit. Have the field awareness up, recognize what's going on, and slow it down. The game is never truly as fast as you think it is when you're put under this much pressure, but North Texas's defense has been so solid, and T-Bates is going to try again here, but when we talked about the backboard being available for both teams, North Texas has put the closed for business sign on the front door.
D-Bank from the ceiling, try to set up anybody, but now Too Fast for Lucia. Why not? But the shot is blocked away by Braun B. T-Bates just waiting a little too long. I mean, he's a stationary target when you're looking for a demolition, but this goes downfield. Too Fast does guide this to safety in the corner and gets around T-Bates. LSU has got to keep this ball in the zone. They can't afford to go beyond the midfield line, and they're going to have to for just a moment. Braun B does keep that in at midfield, and he can't get out to this, so somebody else has to come up. It will be Low Tech right at Too Fast, however, and that clear by Lucia may just spell doom for the LSU Tigers as Lucia wins another challenge, dumps them deep into the corner again. North Texas, the Mean Green, on the verge of one of the most incredible reverse sweeps we've seen in CRL, and Too Fast may be adding just a little insult to injury. No, he doesn't go for the play. Instead, D-Bank will play this in, and that is going to do it. North Texas couldn't look any more dead. It looked like it was going to be the T-Bates show. Instead, it is claws up as North Texas remain undefeated.
North Texas picked apart LSU in Game 5. Picked them clean. Stacks. The boost game, UNT. Midfield, UNT. Shots, easily UNT. Overall, like first man, second man, third man, all men, UNT. Like everybody was contributing to relentless pressure. That whole Game 5, Stacks, is exactly how UNT started this whole match.
Yep.
With the first 3 minutes of the game, they had the ball locked in LSU territory. The only difference being this time, they were able to put real pressure in front of the box and starve LSU of boost. LSU were able to manage boost in Game 1, and so they were able to get consistent clears. This time, they kept getting long clears, but didn't have any boost to chase down midfield, and so they lost everything and could never actually get set up in midfield. That's all credit to the Mean Green and their relentless authority on the pitch.
I don't know how UC Santa Barbara and Colorado State are going to follow that up. Let's face it, they can't. But they are playing next, and they have to play after one of the most entertaining series we've had in league play, I think, in a while. That was phenomenal. Congratulations to North Texas as they remain undefeated, a reverse sweep as they shut down LSU after T-Bates scored his 9th goal. That's it. That's all they did. North Texas goes to 4-0, and now we bring up UC Santa Barbara and Colorado State. Our final match of the night comes your way right after this.